Keep in mind that the two least important days are yesterday and tomorrow. Today is the only thing that's relevant right now. They might outlaw tomorrow. So we better take care of business right today and make sure that we're doing the things that we have to do.
This is George Raveling, philosopher, salesman, teacher, and for the past 11 years, head basketball coach at Washington State University.
I see myself, number one, as a salesman. I think I have to sell Washington State. I have to sell my philosophy and myself. If the players don't buy Washington State, my philosophy and me, then I don't think that we'll be successful. That education is a continual process, that we never have all the answers. And so I'm constantly trying to grow as a coach. I think I'm a far better coach today than I was when I took the job at Washington State. And I think I'm a better coach because I've learned to be a better teacher. I've learned to be a better salesman.
Raveling's success as a salesman is no secret. This is Pullman, Washington, a tiny college town located deep in the rural Palouse country of the Pacific Northwest. Pullman is a good hour from the nearest airport, and even farther from the traditional hotbeds of college basketball. But year in and year out, George Raveling somehow convinces young high school stars from all over the country that this is where they belong.
And I have a hell of a lot of confidence in you. What I would like to do with a young person that comes to Washington State is to try to put my arm around them and tell them that I love them and that let's walk side by side. I don't put as much emphasis on athletic growth as I do personal and intellectual growth with the players and that.
Raveling's reputation as a great recruiter sometimes overshadows his talents as a top-notch floor coach.
Play with your feet! Don't come up high! Don't come up high! Now get down low!
He has written 2 books on the art of rebounding and was recently named assistant to Indiana's Bobby Knight for the 1984 Olympic Games, and not because he can recruit.
All right, pass it back to the passer.
I think that regardless of how long I stay in the college game, I'll always be looked upon as being a recruiter, and I'm not sure that that's not a positive sign as opposed to a negative sign.
You know, a lot of people think he's just a recruiter, but I think he's a better coach than he is a recruiter. I mean, he's very intelligent and loyal and a hard worker, and I think a tremendous coach. I was proud that he was selected as the assistant for the next Olympics.
You might smile at some of the players that George brings to his institution, but when they leave, you're no longer smiling. You're sometimes watching in awe at the development of many of the players that George has had at Washington State.
Because I think in the final analysis, that's the true mark of how good a coach you are, whether you can improve the performance level of your players, and also whether you get the best out of your players.
Pressure! See the ball! See the ball!
Despite his ability to place college coaching on a higher level than the simplicity of winning or losing, George Raveling is, above all, an intensely competitive man. A man who would like nothing more than to lead his Washington State Cougars to the Final Four.
In the offense, let's be patient.
The thing that I don't like about losing is how it makes me feel as an individual. When we lose, I have a feeling of inadequacy. I feel that I was the captain of the ship and I should have been able to do something to steer the ship to safety.
As one of the most popular speakers in all of sports, George Raveling is one of college basketball's great ambassadors. A man who wants the world to know that basketball is only a part of his life and not the sole reason for George Raveling's existence.
To me, basketball is my vocation. It's not my life. I tell our players when we go on the road, I want them, the people, to see them in a broader perspective than just as an athlete, that there's greater depth and dimension to this player than the fact that he happens to be 6'9" and he can put a ball in a small cylinder, that he has internal worth, and there's an intellectual beauty about him that people need to explore.
What's the motto? Yes, you can.